let's do the audio recording.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right. Start your audio recordings in 3, 2, 1. Record. And then, Sean, you're going to monitor the chat, right?
Yeah, I'm logging in now. For a really big show.
All right. We're here.
What's up, y'all?
Hey. All right. This week we'll be talking about Ubisoft CEO gives a terrible pep talk to his employees. Ubisoft is prepping us for 6 new Assassin's Creed games and canceling 7 unannounced games. Microsoft will finally show us games in their Nintendo Direct style showcase coming to you very, very soon. And more on Season 6 episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. So normally we do like the hit the little intro, but we're live, so we ain't doing that right now. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices. I am joined by
John MF Ross.
what the MF stand for.
In the words of a great scholar of our time, Lil Boosie, put your lips on live, I'll give you $1,000.
At least you're consistent, Sean. Last up, who is here?
Hey everyone, it's me, Avery.
Nailed it. All right, now you know who we are. Press X to Start Gamers Digest. This is our new thing for us. We have rebranded. We're Gamer Digest. We're still working through the kinks. All right. Press X to Start Gamers Digest is a weekly show where we talk about the latest gaming news, review the biggest games, and give you our thoughts on the games we are playing. Our goal is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. If you're watching us on YouTube, for one, thank you. Also, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because we need those things. You can get more from us by joining our Discord at pressxnumber2start.com/Discord. Join that conversation, please. If you are listening to us, we ask that you please pause the podcast, leave a review, and then get back to the podcast because we are about to get into gaming news. Avery, what's happening?
Cool beans. Our first story is from IGN. This is from Rebecca Valentine. Shout out to Reb. This is while we normally, I try to keep a cadence of not bringing up this story every week. This is the actual biggest news that's happened in a long time for this story. Title of the story, go check it out on IGN. Nvidia, Google reportedly voiced concerns over Xbox Activision acquisition. So the the Microsoft takeover of Activision Blizzard, can't really call it takeover. I'm sorry, acquisition of Activision Blizzard is has been in a holding pattern for a long time, where there's not been a lot of big striking news, just little small things, little tidbits, talks of concessions and such. Like the FTC has no foot to stand. Console war rapidity, just filling the streets, the video game landscape, and pretty much Sony being the only person saying anything about this deal, and pretty much being flagged in the streets for talking shit for no reason, ignoring the realities of business. and like I said, console war partisanship. Both parties are sort of insane for this deal and the way they're talking about this deal. I've made my opinion on this deal on this podcast multiple times, but I'm not going to belabor the point. However, in the big thing about this deal is that in the video game landscape, everyone was being pretty much like, we have no problem with this deal. And from a business standpoint, why would all the other publishers have a problem with Microsoft uh, taking their competition away and focusing it on another battlefield? Like, there's no reason for a Take Two or a uh, Ubisoft or an EA to be like, oh, you mean there's a chance that Call of Duty, the big best-selling console of all time, I mean, best-selling game of the last 5 to 10 years, is only going to be selling on the Xbox, which as of this time probably has only less than 10 to 15 million units sold? That sounds like a good deal for us. Yeah, I've talked about how there is bigger tech ramifications around this, and henceforth, both two big tech companies, Nvidia and Google, have stepped up and said we have issues with this, and they're not focusing on Call of Duty; they're focusing on the other aspects of this this case. As pointing out, what a lot of people pundits have been talking about for a while, is that they want a stronger mobile. Microsoft wants a stronger mobile presence and a stronger cloud presence, and both these two organizations are like, we have a problem with this.
I'm wondering what took them so long to speak up. You know,
Yeah. I'm.
he zoned out.
No. I just noticed something with the stream that I just gonna have to deal with. But yeah. No. It's very interesting to see that uh, Google and cohort. There you go,
Cohorts.
nailed it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that they are jumping up now. Um, but I don't know, man. I still stand where I stand. It's just whatever needs to happen. This needs to just be done. Like, I'm in a weird place because I do like Call of Duty. I like Activision for Call of Duty,
Hmm.
and to have Microsoft take it kind of feels weird. Feels weird. That kind of it does feel weird. But the way that Activision is running right now, if we just leave them with to their own devices, it's just going to be a very, very slow either implosion or a very loud explosion, and then we
Uh,
lose Call of Duty, and I don't want to lose Call of Duty.
I get that. I'm of the mindset
Yeah,
that if, like they've talked about this, if the deal doesn't go through, it's going to be disastrous for their business. And I'm of the
For
mindset
who?
that Activision Blizzard.
for
I'm on,
Activision.
yeah, I'm well, Activision Blizzard. You can't. Yeah, it's for both
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm of the mindset that if everything that we've heard about the company in the last 10 years of all this stuff is true, then they deserve to collapse. And if the games, if they collapse, then it's like the only thing that's going to happen is a fire sale of content and teams, and it's going to be rough for the video game industry as a whole. But the Call of Duty will survive the collapse of Activision Blizzard.
Why would it collapse? I thought there was guaranteed money to Activision Blizzard if the deal did not go through. Or do y'all forget that?
I think of well, they get money, but it's short term money, and they're already in a
Yeah,
bad place from a business standpoint.
I believe
yeah.
it was billions though.
The
They
big
would
thing is Mike.
collapse from the business sense, not
Yeah,
necessarily from like, oh, we're out of money. Because like they're gonna make money, but like it's just not going to be sustainable in terms of how Activision runs their
it's
business. Even
it's
though,
especially in the wake of everything around them. Like a lot of people have
yeah,
just sort of forgotten and forgiven a lot of the Activision bullshit that hasn't really been fixed and is still ongoing because they just like the games. So it's like it's one of those things where those issues are going to continue to be more prominent and bite them in the way they make games because they're going to probably have to spend more money to retain talent who doesn't want to work for a very out and bad studio.
yeah,
Mm.
it's that whole retained talent and the whisper network of the games industry, and people are like, nah, don't go to Activision because X, Y, and Z, and then you can just look it up. So that is going to hurt them, especially if they can't recover from the whole Microsoft deal. Yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah.
endgame.
But like the focus of this is that Nvidia and Google have spoken up about this. I've been thinking about to Sean's early statement. I'm guessing it's either a we know this is going through and we just want to delay it for other reasons. I don't know, or that or at some point information has like passed out in the ether of the tech industry that has said, oh, there's an actual way we can stop this deal from going and handicap Microsoft as an organization because of it.
Mm.
But yeah, ultimately, this at the long run, if it's the former, then this is just going to delay this thing, which is probably wasn't going to get solved to summer to maybe even the winter. So this is just another year of Microsoft going on stage and talking about Activision Blizzard games and being like, we can't really do anything much right now, but the only thing you'll get out of this deal right now is that every new Activision Blizzard deal is going to be showing up in a Microsoft conference. Like there's no outside of Call of Duty, which if I'm Call of Duty and PlayStation doesn't force my hand with the marketing deal, you just do your own marketing event and just do just PlayStation branding afterwards, so you don't even deal with the conflict of interest. But for the most part, that's where
I mean, even to the
the
Call of Duty thing, I think they're in a fortunate place now because Modern Warfare 2 already launched, so they
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to worry. Because as far as I know, I don't know of any rumors of the next Call of Duty game, and even if there was a Call of Duty game in development, which I'm sure there is, I don't. I think it could be Sledgehammer. But anyways, I think they can probably get away with not doing a thing this year, or if they do a thing, it just like
no,
a
they're
digital thing is
no, well, it's Call of Duty. They're going to spend money because they have to with their brand. Like it's a
yeah.
brand that has to burn money in order to maintain the amount of I guess prestige it has in the audience. If they do a
Mm.
small digital event, the chances of normal people, like most people, are going to they expect a brand new Call of Duty every year. They just expect that. Doing the digital,
Yeah.
doing an event, just make sure everyone knows you're having it because it's that boost of marketing, let people know what the thing is. And for the most part, I know most people who play a lot of Call of Duty games have their favorite studios, but I don't think the casual Call of Duty audience does. Because if so, certain studios wouldn't sell as high as others.
Yeah.
I think I mean that's actually a good question. I would say like the casual Call of Duty person probably likes either the modern or the older because that's really where the skew happens. But I
Yeah.
imagine
Once they
they're
went
still
to
just buying Call
jetpacks,
of
I was
Duty.
like, F it.
Yeah.
But I'm on the more of the mindset like the brands of Black Ops and Modern Warfare will sell games on their own. But what I think I was trying to intimate is okay. This is a Call of Duty game came out. I don't know who the fuck Sledgehammer Games is, so it's just Call of Duty to me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Okay, so our next story. This is from PC Gamer, and it's part of a bigger Ubisoft story. Uh, lo and behold, Skull and Bones is delayed again. This is the story from Ed Smith. Skull and Bones delayed again by Ubisoft, now coming in early 2023, 2024.
That is a long release window.
Wait, give me a round real quick. Do y'all remember when I had this on my fantasy league?
Yeah, and I laughed at you then. I didn't laugh at you that it wasn't coming out. I laughed at you that this game is not going to be good. You saw one conference and then Sean be like, I don't like this game, and saying, oh, this game is going to be good.
Hey man, you know what? You know what? It could
It could
still.
still what, DJ?
You see me, guys? It can still come out and get better than a 50. There we go.
Yes,
There we go.
that's no. I think the game. I think Ubisoft has dumped too much resources into this game for it to get anything less than a 65.
I'm giving it a
range.
low 70 something.
I think 65 is where it can dip the most. I think
I think the Metacritic score is going to be a even 71.
that's a possibility. I think that's where it's going to land. I just don't think it can dip below 65. I think there's too much talent and resources into that game to dip below 65.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand what other work this game needs done from what I've seen.
I mean, you played the alpha build. You say it sounds like a complete game, but what was the actual response from the people testing it about what the game was?
Everybody
I
was just
think
excited to be playing. Um,
I think when we get Skull and Bones, it's going to be a lot closer to what you guys wanted in terms of
No,
the
you keep no, it's not what we want, DJ. We don't want Black Flag. We just want an actual pirate game.
no. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Black Flag. I'm talking about like there's going to be more like on the boot stuff happening
for
because
that to happen, DJ, they need to delay it another 2 years. I'm being dead ass.
hey, I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm just saying that there will most likely probably be like on the boot stuff. Will it be like quality? Probably not. No, but it will
I
probably be
don't
there.
know. I don't actually, Sean. I don't think it will take another 2 years. We talked about how many fucking studios Ubisoft has, and another part of the story we're going to talk about other things. Easily,
Yeah.
resources can be dumped into. We need to make playable land areas for this game and populate our massive empty ocean with actual like physical landmarks that you can dock your boat at that doesn't involve a hub world. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Again, this could get better than a 50, guys.
Right.
You know,
I,
you know what I
I
mean?
think in 2 years they could make a pretty good game, but I think this game they just need to get this game out. I think like I've
There's
talked about
over 30 something studios working on this game. Go ahead, Avery.
no, I talked about how this game only exists in its current form because of weird contractual things. At least that's what I've heard about in these
Yeah.
streets. This is just a game they need to get out. So I don't necessarily think they care about this game is bad and people are talking about it's bad. They just need it to be serviceable. So I'm guessing they're appeasing to this game is going to get shit on by Sea of Thieves without even trying and trying to build something comparable to that at the bare minimum.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so a second part of the story is from Zach Swyson from Kotaku. Ubisoft has canceled at least 7 games in 6 months. So this is talking about Ubisoft in the wake of Skull and Bones and other financial and business decisions, just being unable to get anything off the ground in the last 2 years that wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. And even though there's like a question mark on them,
Like, sorry if I'm interrupting you. I just
hang on.
started thinking like the biggest things that Ubisoft had last year was um the DLC for Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed
Creed.
with Valhalla.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
that was the last DLC for it, right? I
yes.
believe.
Yeah, and then the partnered game, the rabbits, Raven
Mario plus
Rabbits,
Rabbits, and they also had Rainbow
Marvel.
Six Extraction.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah.
That was a Game
I
Pass
was about
game.
to say Riders Republic, but that was 2021. That wasn't even last year. Was that last?
That was
No,
the
that
year.
was
That was the year
2021.
before it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I can't really talk much about Extraction. I wanted to play that game, but it didn't. The cards weren't in the
Mm.
cards weren't in the wow. I just couldn't conceivably get my hands on that game in the midst of my Elden Ring Horizon like breaking myself in terms of video game situation.
yeah.
So I just never ended up playing it. That was a game I know that it was free on Xbox Game Pass. So
Yeah.
it could be a. I don't want to fucking be bold about this and make a bold Game Pass claim or whatever. But like, if for the power of Game Pass, if that game wasn't successful, I am surprised. And it tells you more about
Yeah. Yeah.
the strength of Game Pass as a product than I was expecting. But yeah, uh, I think it's smart. I think they were putting out a lot of bullshit, and I hope that them canceling games isn't just like this is not them going to the UBR team and saying all these child of light that you guys are making. None of this. We need to focus on other things, and it's more like we are making more dumb games for fads that passed over 3 to 4 years ago, like another battle royale, another arena shooter, another weird games of service,
Hyper
yeah,
Hyperscape.
Hyperscape,
Yeah.
more NFT bullshit. I hope it's all that and then just focusing up because like it's really sad to go from Ubisoft was my favorite publisher to being like I don't play a single Ubisoft game right now and it's mad sad.
I think I mean we don't have it on the docket, but like the news of the latest from Assassin's Creed Mirage, what that's gonna look like, which is gonna be closer to the old school Assassin's Creed that everyone loved. But like looking at this stuff, like I mean, I don't have the same love for Ubisoft as you do, so I'm just kind of looking at this from
Yeah.
what I see. and it kind of feels like they are on the verge of just moving towards like Activision, just having like one or two premier, or I say Activision Blizzard, but having like one or two just things they make. And then if they make like a Child of Light too, this kind of happens from the excess money they get from the other franchises. But I'm not, this doesn't. And then on top of all the negative press they got from, how shitty the work conditions are, it seems like it's not looking too good. But I mean, I hope they're able to recover because as it is right now, it's Ubisoft and EA if Activision gets bought out, and it's like the
I mean, Take
juggernauts
Two,
are Take Two. Yeah, Take Two. Forgive it. I always forget
What is
about Take
Take Two really putting out though, other than
GTA.
Two.
Sean, that is the top selling game. It prints money. I mean,
I understand that, but that's
here's the thing.
one
Take
game.
Two. Here's the thing. I want to put this in perspective because I know what you're about to say. Here's the thing. Take Two does a Call of Duty once every 15 years, and it does better than Call of Duty, and then they still put out actual games that people play.
Oh man.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I was just gonna say, what else do they put out other than GTA and NBA 2K? But
Yeah.
They were doing Borderlands. They have the Bioshock IP. They're
okay,
doing.
you're right.
They
You're
have. I
right.
want to say that are they the ones who do Private Division? Where it's like they have a small dev pub team that just gives developers like money to make smaller games that they publish and things like that. Like Take Two, Take Two's output is way more pronounced and actually better than Activision's.
I'm thinking a straight Rockstar game, so you're right. You're
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then the third part of the story, as DJ alluded to in his preamble, is that this is a story from VGC. Ubisoft CEO reportedly tells staff the onus is on them to reverse the company's fortunes. This is from Tom Ivan. This was a excerpt from an open letter for Yves Guillemot, who was like, "Hey man, we're not doing well, and it pretty much." It's a weirdly PR speech thing, and I think the annotation he's trying to go for is we all love Ubisoft. We all need to work hard, and ultimately, our games aren't doing well because of critical fan response and less business decisions that we're making. So, like, if you guys put out tens, we'll all be fine. And less of, but more, it comes off more of, hey guys, man, we are doing nothing wrong with the business side, and it's all up to you guys to save this company. And
Yeah.
it's incredibly tone deaf response that I just find incredibly weird.
Yeah, I'm looking for the actual quote itself, but
All the
yeah, I
employees are
think
just like,
The actual quote itself is
So-
today more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I'm also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible.
yeah, I I think tone deaf is a good way of describing this because you as CEO ultimately control what the spending and direction of the studio is. So for you to turn around and be like, "Hey guys, make sure you control the spending better." It's like, "What? What are you talking about? Like you are the one that's
we
signing the
ain't
checks."
spending no money. Yeah.
Yeah, like we can't spend money that you don't allow. So what are you talking about? Yeah, this again, like this seems like this I don't know, man. Uh
Seems like a Negro, please.
like this is obviously a thing that shouldn't have reached our ears
Hmm.
because you know I'm pretty sure like to get to what Avery was saying about you know maybe what he meant was different from how it came out and what it says on paper,
Yeah,
but for us,
I trust Yves Guillemot, especially after following Ubisoft for the last 5 years, to not make a Jim Ryan or Bobby Kotick type like response. I think he's genuinely being genuine in his response to Ubisoft because like he considers it a family business and he fought tooth and nail to keep it that way. But I do think this is a bad statement to give to your staff that doesn't really take into effect all the all the pressure you're putting on them from a management standpoint and all the trials and tribulations that are going on.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, again, I guess I just go back to like not really being that into Ubisoft and seeing something like this just gives me like pangs of a CEO who's just completely out of touch with his employees. And
I mean,
I
are their fortunes coming from they feel like people aren't buying the games? Because
I think the real problem is when they were being taken over by Vivendi all those years ago, they restructured Ubisoft in a way that all the most popular titles is what they would focus on, like your Assassin's Creeds and your Rainbow Six Sieges and those type of games. And then those games they started hitting the gas pedal on those games, and they started getting diminishing returns on them to the point where Siege is still a popular game, but it's nowhere near its luster. They've done 3 massive Assassin's Creeds, and by the third one, they've gotten to the point where people are like, I don't think I like all these massive Assassin's Creed games all the time.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
there was no real innovation. It was just they had the
and then to
formula.
add on to
That
insult, to add on, they keep greenlighting games of a service games based on trends and fads that have already passed, and those
Yeah.
games inevitably fail.
Yep.
as well as I had my ear to the ground, their games hit on sale too often, too quickly.
I
Most
don't think
people
it's the
aren't
show.
buying. I
It,
see a lot of people not buying games
I
at full
saw I
price.
saw yeah, I saw your comment in the chat, and I'm like, I think I think that's a real thing, but I don't think they would keep doing it if like it really made a massive impact on their sales. Like that's like a cool like I'm thirsting, I'm trying to be spending, I'm not going to spend money on a Ubisoft game. I know it's going to come out on sale later, but I think I don't think a company would be like, all right, we're going to make a $70 game, and then 2 weeks later it's going to be $20, and do that on a regular basis, and then be like, why is this hurting our business line?
Mm. I
No,
mean,
son,
we won't know the inner workings.
no. I mean, if I could easily be wrong, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt from the economics of the
Yeah.
business. Like, if you're saying this is a trend that goes on with Ubisoft games, they must see a financial like reason to continue doing so, and I don't think the low spend, the talking amongst people on the internet kind of a thing is enough to be like, we're all just not going to buy Ubisoft games at launch and just wait like a month later when they're all on sale to play them.
I understand it's a loud minority, but it's just I don't know. We don't know the numbers on the books, but I hear you.
Yeah. I
Like
think one of the no,
I was gonna say, like, on the horizon, what are the big like Ubisoft properties? So we know
there's a
the
Splinter Cell.
Avatar game,
The Avatar game
Splinter
is a Star
Cell.
Wars game. There is the Prince of Persia game if that ever comes out. There's not Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones. There is the Splinter Cell remake, and then there is the greater Assassin's Creed projects that we know
Yeah.
are on the work, which is pretty much
Okay.
a solid slate of games. I'm
Yeah.
super excited for the Splinter Cell remake. I like Avatar enough to play an open world Avatar game made by Massive. I don't really give a shit about Star Wars right now, but if it looks cool, I'm down to play a Star Wars game made by Massive. And if this Assassin's Creed Infinity thing works the way I think it is, I'm down to jump into Assassin's Creed if I keep getting a Mirage every couple of years. How do you
You
think?
got
And then there's
Rainbow
Beyond Good and
Six
Evil, which
Mobile
is
as
a
well.
No.
Beyond Good and Evil.
then there's Beyond Good and Evil, which is a fever dream I had 3 or 4 years ago. That Michel Ancel is no longer working at the company. Speaking of Michel Ancel, whatever happened to Wild? I remember seeing that as a PSX 10 years ago, and that game doesn't exist now. I'm pissed because it looked awesome.
Man.
I'm looking at the upcoming games as well. They got Rainbow Six Mobile and then 2 Division games.
Oh,
I think,
Division.
as a fan of the Division, I think those Division games are madcap, and that's still them playing at those failed trends situation and not focusing in. Because another big issue is if there is that argument that every Ubisoft game feels the same, and it's them not doing enough to differentiate all their games so that when they do try and do a battle royale, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just playing Far Cry, but it's no battle royale.
Yeah. They have a formula and they stick to it, which can be good if the formula works for you, but
There's probably also going to be a Far Cry 7 in the next 2 to 3 years. They're probably going to give that time to cook. I generally like the Far Cry games. I think 6 was a solid game, and if they
Just too
can,
massive.
yeah, if they can refine the things they tried in 6 for 7, I'm down to play it.
okay.
they're in bad fortunes. The most shocking thing is how bad Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hopes did, which is like,
Yeah, but that was critically
yeah,
good though, right? It was
yeah, it was
well
pretty
received.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was just we didn't market it enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably that as well.
That's unfortunate.
I think that also goes back to the sales shit that I was talking about that I saw online, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm.
Anywho,
Okay.
moving on.
Well, following this, hey, subscriber, you're not subscribed yet? Well, you should be, because we need your support. We need your likes, we need your subscriptions, and we need you to hit that notification bell. So you do those 3 things, and we will greatly appreciate it.
Buy war bonds.
But no, buy PlayStation. No, Jesus, buy Press X to start bonds.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't even know. Sean said something, and I said yes, and all right, Avery, take us.
Yeah.
Take us through
Our
some more stuff.
next story is for you thirsty Xbox fans out there who don't want to hear about the Activision Blizzard deal. This is from Levi Winslow. This is from Kotaku.com. Xbox and Bethesda confirmed Nintendo, wow, style direct, but don't expect Starfield yet. So they've announced in the beginning of the year, I want to say in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, it's January 25th. They're going to have a they're calling it a developer direct. It is going to be the teams for Forza, Minecraft Legends, Redfall, and the Elder Scrolls Online showing up to talk about their games. People are talking about whether we're going to, people are talking about getting actual dates for a lot of these games, and it's for Xbox fans. I'm super happy for you that you're getting information, especially after they were so quiet at the Game Awards.
Yeah, this is. I'm completely down for this. I believe the actual date is January 25th.
Yeah, I said January 25th.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did? Okay, sorry.
No
Looking at the
problem.
stream. Yes, to go along with everybody was saying, yes, it is January 25th. I am actually really looking forward to this stream, mainly because there was news that happened, I guess, last week. We talked about it a little bit about how no, I don't think we talked about it in the cast. But yeah, how Redfall is supposed to be more like Far Cry than, I guess, Left 4 Dead or whatever people
Yeah.
thought it was.
It's not a horde
So I
shooter,
think
it's more of a looter shooter. Well, no.
right. Well,
It's more of a
I don't know
yeah.
what Far Cry is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Huh.
I think that's interesting. For us not getting I almost said StarCraft. For us not getting Starfield, whatever. Give them time. They're gonna have their own blowout. Like, everyone who is excited for that game, you've already waited a whole year for it. You can wait a couple more months. It's okay. It's all right. In terms of the other games that's on this list, I'm like, sure, cool. Forza Motorsports. I'm not a racing guy other than unless it's street
I'm
racing.
gonna keep it a stack. If we were to say we were going to record a react to this, I wouldn't be here. I'm a full on pull.
I know. I know.
They've been super transparent. They've been super transparent about the games they're going to show here. I don't give a shit about the Forza franchise. I never have.
Yeah.
Minecraft Legends. I mean, cool. Elder Scrolls Online. It's like people whatever. The only thing I've been interested in is Redfall. But as more and more time goes on for this game, more and more my interest like sort of dissipates, and so it's like it's a shit or get off the pot situation for me, and like it's
okay, yeah,
like
yeah. I think for a lot of people, the biggest thing is Starfield, and I will give it to Microsoft being upfront by saying, hey, like
no, this was a smart
Starfield,
play. This was a
I
smart
thought
play.
we already had a Starfield show.
No, they did. They showed off like 30 minutes of Starfield at their E3 showcase, and that was the first time we actually saw footage of that game. And the discourse was, "Wow, this game has very ambitious. This game also doesn't look like
looks like No Man's Sky."
Yeah, it looks like No Man's Sky, and not the most exciting AAA game.
Yeah.
If you're into Bethesda RPGs, I mean, it's your thing.
Blow your face off.
Yeah.
We'll see. In terms of us doing a stream, that's why it's important for you. That's why it's important for you, watcher and listener, to join our YouTube channel, to join, to subscribe to the podcast. That way you'll know if we're doing a stream, and you'll be able to watch with us, or I guess with some of us, because everybody's not going to be.
I don't want to be on screen for like an hour, not caring about these games, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
now we're in the Redfall." That sounds like
Right.
not good.
I hope Redfall is everything you want and more.
It probably won't be because like
Uh,
it's a game I'd have to play on PC.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah. Okay, our next story is something that actually broke while we were recording last time, but I saved it because I didn't feel like there was enough information at the time for me to gather. During the middle of our podcast, this is from Jordan Miller, this is from VGC, footage of an unannounced Sony shooter allegedly leaked. So, a very muddy trailer for a in development game made with Unreal 5 leaked. The character model and the character model itself looked like, oh, this is super early in development. The actual world itself really looked like they had an idea of what this world was going to look like, and the actual like I want to say environment and background look actually really really good.
yeah.
Like so much so that like a lot of people just didn't know if there's a giant eye in the background because like how detailed the actual like
Yeah, I'm
environment
looking
is.
at it now. This shit looks bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
it,
not playing this on the podcast because I don't. This is leak
Yeah.
yeah,
footage,
no,
so
yeah.
very sensitive.
It's being made with XDev with a unknown third party working with it. XDev is Sony's third party publisher, third party publisher, second party publisher and development team that help out with a lot of games that like are second party to Sony. I think the rumor on the streets is this is People Can Fly, the people who made Outriders and one of my favorite old games, Bulletstorm. This is their next game because I believe in their early leak document they were calling it their next project, Project Red. And if you look at the lower right hand side of this map, there's a blurred image of the word red. So we're all linking these two together. So this is their next project. They also said it's going to be a third-person sci-fi shooter RPG. How much of this is going to be RPG? I don't know. It's probably going to be in like, oh, there's a skill tree that you can manipulate things. But ultimately, it's still going to be a shooting. It's not going to be a Borderlands where like gun like, but it's going to be more of a Far Cry RPG than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like People Can Fly as a developer. I didn't play Outriders because I just wasn't interested in another Destiny-esque like
You didn't miss
looter shooter.
anything.
I've heard enough good things about Outriders from people to be like, okay, this is a cool game. I trust their ability to develop games. Bulletstorm is still one of my favorite like arcade shooters of all time. I think people should go back and find that game and play it. It's super fun. It's got a super cringe world, but the game itself is super fun.
I will say this is real interesting up until you said Outriders. I'm like, I guess I'll just watch to see from afar because
We'll
I
see
was
how it
not
goes.
one of those
Yeah.
people that gelled well with Outriders. So
Yeah. We were
yeah.
whelmed.
Yeah. But I mean, that doesn't mean that this game will amount to the same level of quality that Outriders did. And they definitely could take the criticism they got and make a better product. And I think because I've actually watched that leak footage a few times just to get a sense of what was happening. And I even up until this point, I did not realize that was an eye in the background. So once you said that, Avery, I was like, oh, that's insane. So
This is the
I
quantum
think
verse.
so I think like this has the potential of being really, really cool and really just like weird sci-fi that I'm definitely interested in. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
And then the big question mark I have with Sony going forward is what is going to be the cadence of them releasing games because we pretty much know how their first party lineup is going to release. And well, at least I've estimated how our first party lineup release. But how do you fill in those gaps, especially with third party things? Because I still don't think it's a good business plan to just buy exclusivity on games on an ongoing basis in the manner that they're doing.
Yeah.
That's not a hero. Yeah, in that manner. But I think funding interesting second party games with teams that you may or may not acquire in the future is a good thing to like show up at a like this is going if this game has the promise that I think it will, it's going to be sort of another Returnal kind of a pop.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
And
can
I'm not even talking about Returnal in terms of genre. I'm just saying in terms of like how that feels in the release calendar between God of War, your Ghost of Tsushima's, and your Spider-Mans.
Hmm.
Yeah. And our final story is only tangentially related in games, but it is sort of games related. This is from BGC. This is from Time Ivan. High on Life and Rick and Morty creator Justin Roiling faces domestic violence charges. So apparently, in the early 2020s, well, not early 2020, in early 2020, Roiling was involved in an dispute with an ex girlfriend that involved false imprisonment as well as and a bunch of other weird domestic violence related crimes that was dismissed in court and pretty much hidden. But I'm guessing because Roiland has a lot of money and all the court documents were sort of sealed. I'm guessing this information came out for three reasons. One, because of the high profileness of High on Life, and then two, because he has to go into court, I believe, next week, the Thursday, and then that's an easier thing to get those documentation and alert, harder to keep secret in that situation. So yeah, if if and when the court of public opinion gets its fingers on this, both Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites, and Squanch Games are pretty much dead.
Mm, you think
Yeah,
so?
100%. He does 90% of the voices and creativity on a lot of the
Oh,
all that content. So it's like you can easily find people to do voice overs, but can you do someone to be able to improv Rick and Morty the way he does, or do all the Solar Opposite things? But that's not here or there. Where the main point is that dude's fucked up. This is fucked up, and whatever the consequences, justice needs to be served.
I
oh no, no,
think
no. I agree.
I think I want to believe that, if this carries through and he is, because he's not found guilty yet, right?
No,
Because
he
his
put
charges
he said yeah. The original charges he pled no, not guilty for, and
not
that's
guilty.
why I think
Yeah,
we're getting the hearing now.
right. Okay. Yeah. So I want to believe in the goodness of people to be like, oh, this is fucked up. So we gotta stand firm. But like, there's nothing in my experience. There's nothing in my soul, especially Rick and Morty fans. This is just going to empower them. Like,
Well, it
looking
depends.
at
It
the
depends. It depends on how Justin Roiland handles this.
that's true.
If Justin Roiland handles this as an actual human being with empathy and takes the actual mature response to his mistakes, then they have no foot to stand on being unless they reveal themselves to be the hardcore, I'm saying conservative right leaning people who
Yeah,
hate like any form of empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
right. Who hate women,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, you cannot have empathy and compassion and not hate women. That's not hard.
uh, that's true. You're right. That's true. Like I just I think I saw this on Reddit at one point, and I saw the comments, and as you can just imagine,
No, he's a
the
powerful
comments
dude.
was
Yeah, he's a powerful dude in a situation with a woman who is remaining anonymous. So it's super easy for people to be like, this is a GG. She's got nothing. We're fine.
no, not even that. I'm just talking about like people were saying like people were just being really shitty. People was just being really shitty. There was things that I read that I was like, "Oh, you must be having a bad day to like say some shit like that." Like it was
You
just
must not be on the internet very much.
no. I'm on the internet a lot, sir. But you could
Not the
you
dark
could still,
corners.
yeah. I mean, you
I mean,
could read some stuff and
first of
just be
all,
like,
no one should be
that's not a
hanging
cool
out in the
thing."
dark. Yeah, first of all, no one should be hanging out in the dark corners of the internet. That's not a thing to be proud of.
I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm saying I've been on the internet for quite a long time. They don't have to be having
Yeah.
a bad day to be saying some whack shit. That's
No,
all.
I mean, like the point that I'm getting at is that I want to believe that the general majority of people who support Squanch Games, High on Life, Rick and Morty are going to be like, "Oh, this is really screwed up and like there needs to be justice." I just feel like that's not going to happen, and it sucks. That really sucks, but it's just yeah. All right.
Well, I wish justice for the young lady. Moving on.
Yes. Yes, we all do. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for the gaming news. And I guess before we wrap this up, Avery, you've been playing a couple of games, have you?
Yeah, so I'm going to start this off with I get the short first and then the second one. Well, the short first and the longer one last. Anyway, so it's a new season of Valorant. I play this game maybe 2 to 3 times a season because I'm still learning mouse and keyboard, and this is a game that's very aim intensive. It's a new season, new act. I play controller. So this is where you plug in the meme of my friendship ended with Omen. Now Astra is my best friend because in this update they they hard nerfed one of Omen's most useful attributes, and so now I'm playing Astra and fucking Viper on every map, getting yelled at for dying and not using my spells the right way.
So wait. Let me just rewind because you said something. You said you played this twice a season.
I play this 3 or 4 times a season. Like I'm not on my computer like every night
Okay.
running Valorant. I'm on my computer like maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. I load up Valorant. I pop in mainly DM, mainly like Spike Rush and things like that because like
Hmm.
I don't want to play ranked and just be like not have good aim and then like also be playing the most important role and just not like being able to do both. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I get you. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Uh.
So how are you enjoying the new season?
Uh. New map is cool. I think Lotus is. They introduced a new map called Lotus. I think it's a little boring. It's got 3 bomb sites. I think that's a Haven thing, but I do like the gimmick of the revolving doors and the destroyable doors and the sort of like various ways you can maneuver around this map. We For the most part, all the agents are in a good place. I think Killjoy might be a bit too strong in this new meta, and they probably need to do something with the Stinger. But I'm in a low enough elo where that's not much of an issue. Like fuck it, I'll buy Stinger every round and just run at people. But yeah,
What is a
it's
stinger? What
Stinger
is
is
that?
a submachine gun.
Okay.
It's a gun that like if you can buy a rifle like a AK or a well no if you can buy I'm not going to use COD CS:GO terms. If you can buy a Vandal or a Phantom, which are two guns, two rifles, you should always buy them. But like the Stinger is a gun that is super cheap and pretty much better than every other gun that isn't one of those two guns. And like
Okay.
it's a gun that you can run with. Valorant's not a game you can run a gun with. You have to stand still
Oh, you can actually run with the gun.
you can run with it and have pretty much good accuracy,
Okay.
only at a close range. So it's like if you want to
Yeah.
if you want to take contact or take a close range gunfight, fucking pull out a stinger on the second round. Doesn't really matter. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm having fun with the game. And then the actual big thing I've been playing is One Piece Odyssey, which is a game that I have been looking forward to for a long period of time. And I can say that for the most part, as a One Piece fan, it lives up to the my expectations of what this game was going to be. What
Mm.
actually really impresses me is that it is very much more of a Dragon Quest and like a level 5 type game than like a normal budget anime type game. In
Interesting.
terms, it's a actually really solid RPG. I have an issue with the controls, and I'm talking about the main sort of like overworld controls because Japanese games typically have select on like circle and X on cancel, and like Western games sort of have like we have a sort of an X cross and square situation. So
Yeah.
like I play the game and I want to like jump or like select something and I'm pressing like in my head the cancel button and you can't remap the controls in this game, so I just have to deal with
Mm.
it.
Uh,
But that's more overworld stuff and like this is an RPG, so it's like I'm never gonna get into a combat situation where like, oh no, I hit the wrong button and did the wrong input. It's like it's whatever. I think the
oh,
game
you know what? You know what? If you just spend a small sum, you can get the PlayStation DualSense Edge and remap the buttons. Boom. Boom, look at
He's
that.
not buying that. I'm probably the only person on this cast that's gonna buy that
yeah,
controller.
that's a hard pass. And that's I would if
Oh god.
I got more into like competitive games, I would 100% cop this controller because it seems like the
Yeah.
best option. But like if I'm playing mostly turn-based RPGs, visual novels, and weird indie games, and then occasionally I'm running it down mid in a shooter, this is not something I really need. Yeah, I'm not spending 200 like over $150 just to play an RPG.
Right.
I
But
played too
yeah,
much Apex to not have that controller.
yeah, yeah. I think the game begins super fucking weird. I think once again,
Oh.
it's a type of game that has like a really bad opening section, where like the
Uh-huh.
game starts you off at level 40, and I understand why they did it.
Wait,
So
the
you jump
actual
in,
game?
yeah. So the game, you jump into the game, you start a new game. I was crazy. Like you start at level 40, all the straw hats have their full complement of moves. It's like I thought in my head this type of game you would start the game at level 1, you have to build your straw hats as you explore this area and grow with that, but like you start at level 40. An event happens that bumps you down to level 1, but like it's a very jarring
Oh.
first hour in terms of learning about how the game works to just be overpowered and running into combat situations where you're just one-shotting enemies or they have to make the
Yeah.
enemy unnecessarily strong just for like a fight to have any meaning, as you're also trying to learn it's sort of weird combat system, which is zone based, but like you don't have any maneuverability during the zone based thing. So like there's certain targets I can't target, but like as far as I can tell, there's no option to like move to an area to target that. It's like the
Oh,
game does
so
not
like
have
you just can't attack that person the
yeah,
entire
like two,
run.
like I will, it will like the enemies will be split to two groups, and like one group will be like, and one person will be on one side with that other group, and like, I think this is just random, and the other guys will be on the other side of the other group, and like unless those characters have like long range moves or specific moves that can do certain situations, there's nothing you can really do with targeting them. I think that's a fucking weird thing.
Oh, that is weird.
But in terms of but that's early on. After that, you sort of get into the actual main game, and that's where like it really starts to shine as like a Dragon Quest esque like RPG. And I generally really love the One Piece IP and aesthetic, so I'm just super into seeing what this story that means absolutely nothing to the canon of One Piece actually turns out to be. Shout out to this game for starting this game in sub mode and not jumping me into a English VO. They knew their target audience. Yeah, I'm having fun with it.
That's cool. That's cool. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I actually downloaded the demo and I was planning on playing it before this cast, but it just didn't happen. Didn't happen. So glad to see that someone played it. And you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's what's more important. Sean, you got anything? Or are you good?
Um, for some reason, I started playing Axiom Verge 2. I don't know.
Oh, you enjoying it?
It is a game. No, seriously. Apparently, their idea of accessibility, and I don't know if we talked about this, or maybe I just looked this up somewhere. Their idea of accessibility was making pretty much almost all the bosses, optional. You can just walk right past them, and
Like
then you
literally
can
walk right past them?
yeah, and then you can also quadruple your damage output and half their damage output, the damage that you take, some
Is
shit like
this
that.
okay? That's okay.
I
Is that
never
like an
played the
option you can set?
yeah, it's just in the options. It's just there.
Yeah.
I think I had finished Yakuza 4, and because there's such a long exposition at the beginning of each Yakuza game, I was like, let me try this game since it was free for PlayStation Plus. And I'm kind of just playing that when I don't have the time to actually commit to, Yakuza or
Mhm.
an Apex match or something. 'Cause, those are a good 15, 20 minutes. This,
Right.
if I die, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
too
yeah.
invested in it. It's literally something to do because I have deleted Spelunky. I've deleted Binding of Isaac. I haven't played those in such a long time. So
Yeah.
it's literally just a short game to play if I don't want to be playing on my phone.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Other than that, I'm playing Yakuza 5.
Yeah. You know what? I I still give it to you. The fact that you are like dedicated to going through all the Yakuzas in the series, like, hey,
Yes, yes.
still waiting for you to be Elden Ring, but good job.
I know where you live.
You're right. You're right. You do. All right. I think that's it for the podcast. I just want to say, good job, all of us. We did a fantastic job. Technical difficulties suck, and made it work. You know, it just made it work. All right.
Marcus, we love you. We kept it under an hour.
Yeah, look at him. Yeah, he should be. He's
But
clapping
next
right
week
now.
you'll pay. So now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately,
will.
it's not his hand.
Nah,
that is
I'm gonna be
clapping.
quiet.
Marcus, I'm sure you heard that. All right. This has been another episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcasting apps. Every little bit helps. I haven't said that in a long time. Also, remember to like, share, and to subscribe on our YouTube channel. That's weird. This is a very old thing. Let me restate that. I want you, listener, to like the podcast, like the YouTube video, because we know you're watching it. Well, you should be watching it if you're not watching it. But yes, like the YouTube video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Do it. I'll see you later. All right. If you missed any of this, you can find all details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. Until next time, you be safe. You take care of yourself. You play some video games. Peace.
Bob. Hilarious. We have 3 people. Well, 2 more people watching us now, unless y'all are tuned in.
I'm not.
Well, then that's just hilarious.
So yeah, we didn't do